This is an approximate 1 month review of the GORUCK M23 that's come out in the new nylon ripstop fabric. Missed out on the original run of these when it came out, the M22 and 500D. At first, it seemed like it was such a big departure from GORUCK's lineup that while it was neat, it wasn't completely compelling. But the more that I thought about the feature set and the more it was kind of getting out there, the more interesting it became. But then it was unavailable for a long, long time. And it's now been back in stock, but in a completely kind of different fabric than what GORUCK's dealt with in the past. So there's a lot of unknowns out there. There doesn't seem to be a ton of videos and reviews on it. So I'm just going to share with you my thoughts. Overall impressions thus far have been positive. The biggest unknown, I think, for most people is going to be this fabric and how it's going to hold up. This is the 21 liter size. And measurement-wise, it does get a little bit hard to kind of tell the difference between the 21 liter GR1 and how this fits with other bags in the lineup. It does have the measurements on the website. How it feels and how it kind of operates, it's a little bit different. I would say that this footprint for me actually works out the best. I have a 26 liter GR1, I have the 20 liter Rucker, and I've had all the other models in between. This particular one actually fits me the best out of any of the GORUCK bags that I've had. Something about how the dimensions line up, how it carries, I actually do love that quite a bit. And even though it does state being 21 liters, this same EDC mode that I have loaded up right now fit a lot tighter in the 21 liter GR1, whereas this, and by design, you have a lot more room and a lot more flexibility, I think. And that's fair, considering this is a big departure and the price tag on these is not cheap, and it's not as cheap as the M22 was either. The real focus and intent for this is going to be an EDC bag. It's really not built for the rougher stuff. As far as what it can take, that's what the longer time is going to have to reveal to us. But so far, it's been holding up very well just in EDC mode. Do plan to try some travel with it, and then finding out, does it in fact ruck? So I'm gonna break this down in what I have kind of set up in work mode. Hero clip up top, because I usually hang this from my workstation. And what makes this a nice bag is that this is a good bag to work from, in and out, accessing it throughout all these exterior methods, as opposed to the clamshell type where you're better served kind of getting to your destination, pull everything out that you need, and then just putting it away. So this is a good work from bag. This is a work good as a dump pocket kind of bag. Good lock buckles, which I've never used before. Actually, highly like these. And there's another advantage of the M23 is if you are having to work in a vertical orientation as opposed to having some space where you can get the clamshell going. So tighter spaces in a vehicle with this thing upright, hanging on the wall, works out pretty well. These are just super easy to pop right off. Top pocket, sunglasses. Going farther south, lunch, giant Yeti. Yeti number 2. And then field pocket, odds and ends, aspirin, electronics, whatever you name it, sits right there at the bottom. Kind of helps it stand upright. If you pack it right, it will stand upright. And then last part that I have, which is a little bit more specific to me, is a ballistic plate, rifle rated plate, which you hope that you don't ever really have to consider bringing one of these. But when shit goes down, and it has, this stops being as crazy as it looks. So that plate became kind of a consideration for me. And, well, that kind of reassurance, hard to put a price tag on. They do, but now when it comes to plates, laptops, rucking plates, all of that, you still have, which is gonna be really hard to see, the usual slot like they had on the GR series, which is where I put this, because in contrast to the GR1 and the 21 liters, this laptop compartment is not the same. Right down here where they've done the stitching, they've actually lost a fair amount of real estate to put tablets and iPads and laptops, the whole 9 yards in there. So while you can still have a bunch of stuff in there, the electronic device has got to be on the small side. That part was probably the largest disappointment for me, is that that laptop compartment was not the same as the GR1, because that's usually where I had this. Not a big deal. I don't typically carry a laptop on a daily basis. I do have the tablet for travel. For work, sometimes I do carry a laptop, and it gets a little bit on the tight side, but still manageable. Probably the largest negative that I found at this point. So at the end of the day, is it meant to be a rucking bag? No. Is it meant to be a bag that's going to see a whole lot of abuse and last forever? No, it's not really what it's meant for. It's definitely nicer, and this is going to hold up a lot better than your JanSport. Looking at a lot of the other hiking bags that are meant for the outdoors, it's lighter ripstop type fabrics. So the long-term test, that's still to come. We'll just have to see. So far, pleasantly surprised. It feels a lot more robust than it looks or it kind of reads on the website, but it's not one that I'm going to be taking it through a challenge with or anything like that. So if you're a fan of the GORUCK ecosystem, and I am, I'm one of them, this actually fits in pretty nicely, as this is the daily bag that gives you a whole lot of comfort and a whole lot of options. This could be a minimalist travel bag, and I will be putting that to the test. We'll see how it goes. How it's holding up so far. Overall, structurally, no problems. Might got a little bit of dirt on there, but there's no fraying, there's no loose threads. Everything is actually holding up pretty well. Visually, you can see a slight couple spots of wear, but nothing where it's like fraying or coming apart or ripping. Just the usual stuff that will just kind of end up on this. It's a comfortable ride, the material is comfortable. The next big plus is just the exterior access. So I don't find that I'm constantly going through the top lid most of the time. It's usually gonna be this first pocket here where I have all my exterior access. This is the most commonly used pocket that I have. The side pockets, front pockets that are on here, I don't find myself really using all that much. I don't carry that many small individual things, so if I need to get my field pocket, pop it out, it's right here, there we go. If there is something bulkier and larger that I need to get later, yeah, I can pop this out. Other nice advantage of having this top loader is that if your layering or your circumstances change throughout the day and your bag is maxed out, you still have the ability to have some flexibility and carry extra stuff here with you. In fact, the expandability of the storage is another nice thing about this bag, where just by lengthening the straps, making this bigger, you can kind of have an expanding bag, which is kind of nice. I like the GR1 21 liter overall, but sometimes it is just a little bit on the tight side for what I typically carry. So having a little bit of flexibility has been a plus. And the difference in size, jumping from a 21 liter GR1 to a 26 liter GR1, it's a big jump. You feel the difference, you can see the difference. 2 inches doesn't sound like much, but it's pretty massive when it's on your back and when you're living with it every day. Versus this, the footprint really stays the same. This just kind of gives you that extra little bit of capacity. Makes it pretty nice. And it can be the on-the-go kind of adventure type bag. You have a lot more room than you do a bullet. You have a lot of exterior access for things, if it's the family or, in my case, the dog, needing to get stuff for him. Have a lot of options here. You have the same kind of molly webbing up here to route a bladder. So outdoor adventures or whatever else comes up, this could fit in very well. It can just be a giant dump pocket, just like a GR1, and kind of a nicer, friendlier package. 1 month of light use isn't enough to really give you an idea what the long-term living with this and how it holds up picture looks like. So we're just gonna have to see. But those 1 month impressions, very, very positive. This is the only color you can get right now. And really, I think GORUCK shines best when it's in that classic black. So no regrets there. Takes a little bit of doing, but you can get the 45-pound sand jerry can in here and kind of massage it through this section. So the big question, does it ruck? Yes, yes it does. Went with the sand jerry can as opposed to the plates, just because with the
plate pocket on the inside being that same lighter material. Wasn't quite ready to find out the hard way that was going to be a bad idea. But at least as far as 45 pounds of sand, 46.2 to be precise, it's handling just fine. Nothing is torn, nothing is creaking, rattling, zippers aren't blown out. As far as the ride, it's very, very similar to like a GR1 or GR2 loaded up with the same kind of thing. You notice the difference in the frame sheet compared to the Rucker, where you do feel a little bit of the oddness of the shape of the sandbag in there, but totally doable. So this can ruck. So if the price works for you, if the feature set works for you, I do recommend this. I do enjoy it.